everyone.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday.
Yes. Hey, Sharon, Sarah, Miss Pat, and Wicked. It's good to see you guys.
Hello, ladies. How are y'all doing? So glad you're here.
Hey, Frenchie.
And there's Frenchie.
It's awesome to see you guys. How was Hobie
Yes.
Bingo? Don't think any of us won.
Now, if they would change that from rows to columns, I would become a lot closer to winning
Yes.
something. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I
Yep.
didn't do well. But,
No.
what are you going to do? It's still fun to play.
Yep.
You ain't got to do nothing but turn it on. And you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to do anything at all.
Except look at the yarn. Oh my word.
Oh, my
Mm.
goodness. They had some beautiful yarn. Hey, Frozen Angela.
Hello, Angela, sweetie. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here.
Oh, yes. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to
Wicked,
hit.
where have you been, sweetie pea? I haven't seen you in a month of Sundays.
I know. Where has Wicked been? Oh, my.
I don't know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Frenchie says diddly squat.
Yeah, deadly squat. Exactly, Frenchie. That's
Oh,
basically
goodness.
what I had.
Yeah.
Yep, nothing. But it's all good. Hey, Em.
Yeah. Hello, Em. How are you, sweetie?
It's good to see you.
Yes. I hope everybody's having a great Monday.
Yes, I hope it is a very good day.
The lady.
How are you doing, Laura? I hope your weather's doing good on the coast. I have
Which part?
rain. She's in Virginia, but she's on the coast,
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm on the opposite side in the mountains.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty awesome. We're opposite sides of the state.
Yes. Well, that's
So,
cool.
yeah, I think it's pretty
Y'all
cool.
need to meet in the middle. Y'all need to
I
meet in the
tell you,
middle.
we do.
Mm-hmm.
We do. That would be pretty cool.
Right.
Of course, if they ever did the tent sale at the Spinrite factory, I'd have to make arrangements for Laura to go with us. Hey, Bren,
Yeah. That would be a cool video.
that would be awesome.
Hello, little Bryn. How are you doing?
I think it would be a whole lot of fun to have Laura come. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you're feeling better.
Yes. I
That's
took
awesome.
Lacey out just a few minutes ago, and oh my goodness, she skedaddled because you have to go across the parking lot to get to the little open field that's here. And you talk about high stepping and going fast. She was getting off that, yeah, asphalt as fast as she could.
Oh, I guess so. Oh my goodness, it's going to be in the 90s. You need to stay in the air conditioning. Oh my goodness.
Right. Hello, Faith Louise. How are
Hey,
you?
Faith Louise, you're working on crochet petals for your daisy. You've done 7 out of 10, but now redoing 4 of them as practice has perfected them, and they're all different sizes. Well, you know what? Just keep retrying.
Yeah, that's what she said. So she's redoing, trying to keep better tension. And
That's
that's what it's all
awesome.
about. Yep, that's what it's all about, the tension.
Yep, that's how we get better at it.
Mm-hmm. Practice, practice,
Practice,
practice.
practice. That is pretty much how you get better at your crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And M, that leads me into today's discussion. Yes, today's discussion, you're going to crack up, is crochet bad habits.
And I told her, I said, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't have any bad habits. Do y'all have any bad habits? I don't know what she's talking about.
I
I
have
really don't.
I have a lot of crochet bad habits.
Not me.
I
I'm
mean,
perfect.
seriously.
I'm perfect.
Well, there's one is keeping attention,
Yeah.
maintaining constant tension is one.
Right. Yeah.
We as crocheters don't always do that, and we need to maintain good tension.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's important. No problem, Faith Louise. You do what you can. Seven.
But we just appreciate you listening to us.
Hey, Carrie.
Hello, Carrie, my yarny elephant. Thank you so much for being here, sweetheart.
Absolutely. So, maintaining tension is one of the things that we have as bad habits where we don't always maintain our tension. And
Right.
as a result, we don't have gauge. And of course, how many of us don't do a gauge swatch? Hi,
Hello, Diane.
I know a lot of us don't do gauge swatch. Now, I Do a gauge swatch.
I do a gauge swatch because I crochet so tightly.
I have a
Yep.
habit of doing it. Wonderful, Sharon. I do a gauge swatch. I learned the hard way when I started knitting, and made a sock that was like twice the size of my husband's foot, and it was supposed to fit
Gary
me.
Gary said running out of coffee is my bad habit.
Exactly. Exactly. So I know gauge swatch. What might that be? Yes,
Mhm.
a lot of crocheters have a bad habit of not doing a gauge swatch, and you
And
need
it's
to
really important
do
that you do a gauge swatch whenever you're making garments.
exactly. That is very, very important. Absolutely. And it's so funny. I'm working on my sweater, and I was sitting there showing a couple of friends, and I held it up and I thought, oh no, it's too wide, it's too wide because this is one panel. And then it dawned on me, oh no, because I did a gauge swatch.
Mhm.
And then it dawned on me, oh yeah, it's supposed to be this wide to cover my rear end. Because I'm thinking I got to rip it out. I don't have to rip it out. I made it this wide on purpose.
Right.
So as I get higher, I have to narrow it. But
Mhm.
I did that wide on purpose.
Right.
Hey, Ellie.
Hello, Ellie. Thank you
Well,
so much for being here.
I appreciate you coming in, sweetie. So a gauge swatch is very important. And Carrie has learned the hard way that she needs to gauge swatch when making a wearable.
Yep.
It's not as important when making, an amigurumi. But
Mhm.
if you're making a wearable, gauge swatch is very important. I know, Frenchie, gauge swatch. That way you don't make your sweater to fit your cat instead of fitting you.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Because, then you've just wasted all your time.
Well, I have found for me, like I said, being a tight crocheter, that I have to do the gauge swatch because it tells me one of two things. Either I'm going to have to buy a lot more yarn,
Hmm.
or I'm going to have to go up one, maybe two hook sizes to
Yes.
meet the specifications, especially if I'm doing somebody else's pattern,
Hey, Laura.
Yep.
Yes, you
Thank
do.
you, Laura, for being here.
You do. And so you have to be able to have consistent tension. It
Right.
doesn't have to be tight or loose. Hey, Nammy
Mm.
G.
Hello, Nammy G.
But a consistent tension so all of your stitches look the same. Hi, Amy.
Hello, Amy. Thank you so much, you two ladies, for being here with everyone else.
And yes, Sharon, like a hat that turned into a backpack.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So you kind of need to know these things. No. So you need to have consistent tension because you
Yeah.
don't want, hey, Karen, I don't know. They haven't announced it yet, Karen.
Yes, but that would
As
be
soon
so
as they
cool.
announce it, I'll let you know, but they haven't announced it yet. Maintaining tension so that your stitches don't look wonky.
Right.
That's really important.
Mhm.
So, another bad habit is bad posture. Sitting with your arms too far out in front of you when you're doing it. Put
Huh.
strain on your arms and your shoulders. Sitting with your head hunched over and your shoulders hunched over. Eventually, your neck and
Yeah.
shoulders are going to hurt. So, you need to sit with good posture and have your elbows kind of tucked into your body.
Mhm. Yeah, this is how I crochet. Yeah.
Yes, this is the best way. Um, Now, you need to have good posture. You know, feet flat on the floor or have your feet propped up. Hey, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle, sweetie.
That way you've got a good posture so you're not creating pain.
Right.
Because
Mhm.
that leads into the next one is, oh no, Carrie. Hey, Jetten.
Hello, little Carrie. How are you today?
So that leads into the next one is ignoring pain. Pain is a warning signal that there is something wrong.
Right.
And us as crocheters, we always ignore the pain. So
Mm-hmm.
don't ignore the pain. Adjust
Right.
the way you're doing something. If you're
Or just
using,
get up, or just get up and walk away. Put it down for a little bit. You know.
yes, do your stretches so that your hands don't
Mm-hmm.
start hurting. If you're using a skinny hook and your hand hurts all the time,
Whoa.
move to a bigger hook. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
your hand won't work or won't hurt as much, or an ergonomic hook so
Right.
that your hands don't hurt. I get extreme pain working with a little hook. It just
Huh.
happens. Now I still do them, but I get
Right.
extreme pain in my hand and cramps with my hands.
Right.
It just ends up that way for me.
Right.
But don't ignore the pain in,
No.
in your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your
Or
wrists.
even your back.
Hey, Mimi,
Yeah.
definitely don't.
Hello, cat do. No, don't. Yeah, don't ignore that one in your back.
So
Ellie said, "My best friend and I can use the same pattern and yarn, and never the same size of the finished object." There you
exactly,
go.
exactly. But if you both had the same gauge,
Right.
you would
It
have the
should be
same
pretty
size
close.
project.
Right.
Yes, Michelle. I mean you.
Mhm.
Hey, Dinky.
Hello, DK. How are you?
I knew exactly who you were. So don't ignore the pain. Adjust the way that you're sitting. Find a better way to sit.
That's right.
Um, do what you have to do. Change your
Hmm.
hooks up.
Right.
Do what's comfortable for you. We don't want you to be in pain and uncomfortable. Leslie, my darling,
Hello, sweet pea. How are you?
just to be more comfortable so that
Right.
you're not hurting all the time. Take frequent breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not the hook that's making you uncomfortable. I'm going to pull one up here. Sometimes it's the way you're tensioning your yarn,
Right.
you know, and that'll cause problems. Hey, Kim.
Good afternoon, Kim. How are you? Thank you so much, all of y'all, for being here.
I'm sorry you're struggling, sweetie. Oh, yeah, I could see you, honey. Born at the hump at the bottom of your. Yes. Yes. I'm so
Oh, my
sorry.
word. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to find a way that's comfortable to you. Sit
Right.
with something that supports you.
Mm-hmm. That's why I always sit with a pillow behind my back. I have to sit a little more, straight up and down because my lower back over the years has just weakened. And if I sit too much on, I guess you could say, like on the lower part, like where your kidneys are, man, my back does not like that. So I
Yes,
normally have to sit pretty well straight up.
absolutely. And Karen, you are absolutely correct. Don't forget that when you do a gauge swatch, make sure that you wash it properly too. That way you're
Right.
getting the actual measurements of it. And yes, yes, DK, your rear end will tell you that you need to move
Mm-hmm.
because it will
Yep.
fall asleep. It does. Now, see, like in
Mm.
my chair, I have to lean back.
Nope. 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 Nope.
But
Sorry, guys.
yes, you get to yes, it does, if you get involved with television, your tension will change. Yes, exactly, it does do that. So you got to pay attention.
Yep.
Yes, there's a whole lot of things that we neglect to do. I'll give you an example of one of another thing that I neglected to do it recently. Actually, I made an amigurumi. I made this right here.
Isn't
Okay,
it cute?
he's adorable. I loved him. So I made that. Hey, Debbie. So I made him. He's right here. And what I neglected to do was to make notes on the pattern where I changed it up. Hey, Laura. So I forgot to make notes on my pattern. Now, I will use a pencil and
Mhm.
I will mark up my patterns.
Right. I do too.
Or if I don't want to write in the book, well, they're my books, I write in them. I'll use a
Mhm.
sticky pad, a bigger sticky pad,
Right.
and I'll write on it and I will stick it in the book. That way I know what changes I made to the pattern the next time I
Mhm.
go in there
Right.
and do the pattern. Thank you, Laura.
Mhm.
But a
Hello,
lot
Laura Shelton and Debbie.
of us have a habit of not making notes on the pattern because we're like, "Oh, I'll remember that I made that change." And
No,
you go
not
back to
me.
the pattern 3 years later and you're like, "What what what changes did I make?"
Right.
Because you forget.
Mhm.
So, make your changes and go ahead and write in your pattern. It's your book. It's
Right.
not a it's not a library book.
Nope.
It's your book.
Or if
Um,
you copied off your pattern, you can write that in there.
it's your printed pattern.
Mhm.
You printed it. Look, I marked right on it.
Mhm.
I mean, you printed it. You can write on it. It don't hurt nothing. Just write right on it. Just write
Right.
on it. A lot of people fail to do that. You do the same with your books. You use sticky pad or a piece of paper if you're watching on.
Mhm. Right.
Exactly, exactly, DK.
Yes.
Yeah, it is wicked. That's right.
Pretty.
There you go, Frenchie.
Yep. Getting ready to say that.
Exactly, exactly. You need to do that. It makes it
Right.
a whole lot easier, down the road.
Right.
Yes. Another thing that we're famous for doing that's a bad habit is we really, really like the yarn. And then we find a pattern that we really like. And then it's the wrong yarn for the.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So now we got to go buy more yarn or
you
find
know,
another pattern.
so that's what we. And oh, take care, Ellie. Have a blessed day, honey. You,
Thank you so much for being here, sweetheart.
you enjoy that vacation with him.
Oh, yes.
But
Maybe she'll teach you to crochet.
we
Woohoo!
do have a habit of using the wrong yarn to the pattern.
Right.
And oh my goodness. Yes, you should get yourself a printer, honey. The wrong
Mhm.
yarn to the pattern, and that creates a real problem.
Right.
So you need to pay attention to what yarn they're using in the pattern, and you don't have to use that exact yarn, but try to find something similar. But it doesn't have to be that exact yarn. Yes, I know.
Unless the pattern unless the pattern says, this pattern works for any yarn, any hook,
Yes.
blah blah blah. But normally, yes, you need to stay within the same specs.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, that's nice, Laura.
That's awesome.
She
So
has a crochet knit journal, and
yeah.
she and I have referenced it so many times. There you go. Yes.
See, I think that's a great thing to do. Like, we want to make a beautiful top for summer, but we
Mhm.
have this gorgeous wool that we just
Ooh,
love, 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 love. That would be the wrong yarn for
I
the
was going to
project.
say wrong pairing.
Wrong yarn.
Yep.
So it doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You're going to be too hot. Yeah.
Unless your summer is in Alaska,
Yeah, that's true.
that might work.
Because so that was, that happens a lot. I'm not that organized either, Wicked. I'm way not
I
that
guess
organized.
being a school teacher, I guess being a school teacher for 30 years, I learned to be organized.
We also have a habit of picking the wrong hook size. We have the habit of that.
Mhm.
We go to make a shawl with fingering weight yarn. And so we opt for the tiny hook, and then we wonder why our shawl fits a school aged girl,
Right.
instead of us.
Mm-hmm.
When it turned out that they were using a larger hook,
Right.
but we didn't pay attention. Hey, Jane.
Hello, Jane. Thank you so much for being here, sweetheart.
So, see, we need to pay attention and use the bigger hook for the drape with the finger.
Right. Right.
So, you got to pay attention and do what you need to. So, we have a habit of using the wrong hook sometimes.
Right.
Yes.
And that again is where your swatch comes in so that you can make sure you have the right tension using the recommended hook. Because for some of us that are tight crocheters, if we do take the time to do the swatch, then it tells us either we're going to have to go up a hook size or we're going to have to learn to loosen up them stitches.
Yes. Very much so. And you're, yes, exactly, Sharon. Sharon crochets differently than Bag a Day, and
Mm-hmm.
she can't use her hook recommendations. I understand it,
Right.
Candy.
Yep.
You know,
Hello, Candy.
exactly, Laura. Organizing doesn't get along with your ADD. I totally get it. My
Ah,
is atrocious because of it. I just, yeah, can't get organized. But I totally get it. Um, Another thing that crocheters have a bad habit of doing or not doing is reading all the way through the pattern before they
mm-hmm.
start.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to learn. Oh, no problem, Debbie. I'll, let's see, check out. I'm going to get a couple links for you. Just give me a second. But you should always read through the pattern,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and that way you know what's coming up and you can review whatever stitches you need to review and be prepared for
Right.
those. That would
Right.
really help. I mean, you know, you won't be caught off guard.
Laura Shelton says, I always find stuff when I try to clean and organize. That is what stalls my efforts to get there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. How about check out this girl, this lady for amigurumi. She has really, really good tutorials, and she's really good for beginners.
M says, my other bad habit is prioritizing crochet above cleaning my house and wonder why I have a crunchy carpet.
Exactly, exactly. I have a issue with doing that. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Another problem people have is where they don't use stitch markers when they should.
Oh, yes.
I'm known to use all kinds of stitch markers. Uh,
Yeah.
Even where is it? What I'm working on right now, it's right here. Pull it back up. Even even when I don't use, a clip stitch, there's my stitch marker. It's just a piece of yarn.
Which it works just as well.
It works just as
Doesn't
well.
have to be.
Frenchie, read the pattern ahead. Huh. She's got really, really good amigurumi tutorials. Oh, yes, I do use stitch markers. I use them constantly, and I drop them in the floor all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I use them
Mm-hmm.
so much, I bought more. I mean, seriously, I use a lot of stitch markers, like you wouldn't believe. Yes, it's really good for the ends of rows.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, there you
Or
go,
to
Michelle.
keep your yarn in place, whenever you have to put your
Yeah.
crochet project away. Yeah, so it doesn't rip out.
Yeah, that's a really good thing is to put it in the last stitch when you're
Mm-hmm.
putting your
Mm-hmm.
work down so it doesn't pull itself out. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Sharon. I love Crafty Intentions. There is a Crafty Intentions cracking right there.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I use them all the time. I drop them
Mm-hmm.
on the floor or I break them. Hey, Sandra,
Hello, Sandra.
you love when line crochet family member brings you a pattern and asks, "Can you make this for me?" And I always say no, because they can't afford me.
That's right.
I
Michelle mentioned. Go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
no, no, you go ahead. No,
Well, Michelle mentioned one that I will say that I am guilty of
yes,
sometimes, and that is washing your hands before you start working on your project, because you don't want to transfer anything. Like if you've been cleaning, you don't want to transfer any of those products onto you. There you go.
I've
Yep,
been
hand
using the
sanitizer.
heck out of it. Oh, I don't know if y'all
Hmm.
can see. I've been
Right.
using the stuffings out of it. I keep this right next to me. I am always cleaning my hands
Hmm.
because
Yep.
you pet the cat, you clean your
Yeah.
hands. I smoke a
It's
cigarette, I clean my hands.
Well, yes, especially with smoking or with petting your animals, because they have oil in their hair, and you
Yeah,
don't want to transfer that because
no,
although a lot of people are allergic to animals more because of their pet dandruff, a lot
yes,
of them it's not so much the pet dandruff as it is the oil off their skin and their fur. So
mhm,
if you've got those little fur babies that you just love on all the time, you do need to clean your hands before you
yeah,
um, start crocheting. And our little short hair Lacey here, I am not kidding you. Every time she goes outside, and I seem to notice it more on her than I do Tia, is that when I pet her, like
yeah,
when we were in Port St. Lucy's during the springtime, she would come in with all of this pollen on
yes,
her
pollen.
coat. You know, dirt's flying around. She's going to have that dirt. That's that fine film of dirt on there. So you wouldn't think that just because you pet your animals that you need to clean your hands, but yes, you do.
Absolutely. Now, what is it that you tell people when they want you to make them crochet them something?
Me,
Yeah,
they have to buy the yarn and they have to pay me 50% of it up front. And then if they do, then that tells me that they really do want me to make it and they recognize and appreciate the time that I'm going to put into it. Now, if they don't want to do either one of those, or they want to buy the yarn, but well, can we just wait until the end? No, fool me
um,
once, and that's all it took.
yes.
So I don't do that.
Leslie commented that you have to remember to taste the hand sanitizer before you use it on your hands.
All right, all right.
Yes, it's DIY fluffies.
Fluffies,
They're
yes,
really good.
yes.
I agree. They're really, really good. Um, where am I at? There I am.
Hello, Daniel. I guess you made it in from work.
Yes, yes.
Cheeto hands, yes. Oh my goodness, wouldn't that be awful? Sit there and eat a bag of Cheetos and just use a napkin or a tissue to wipe your hands, and then you go to pick up that beautiful white baby blanket you've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, 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 no.
Well, it doesn't matter. Cheetos, Doritos, potato chips. You're getting salt on your fingers
And grease.
and grease.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want
Yeah.
that to get on your project,
No, 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 no.
especially if you're working with white.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that just would ruin it. So I'm constantly hand sanitizing because I'm working with white.
Right.
But,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
worth it to me. But,
Mm-hmm.
those are some major ones, that you have to really stop and think about, all of these things. Um, hang on. I'm looking for my list. The band. I have a whole list over here.
Frenchie says, drinking McDonald's coffee. Don't judge me.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. And when you're doing your pattern, a lot of not me, because I have to do it, but people don't count their stitches, and then
Oh, no, no, no.
they wonder why their pattern looks wonky.
Right.
You got to
Yeah.
count your stitches, and you got to make sure it looks right.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I agree, Leslie. A lid on your wine.
A lid on your wine, yes.
You got to put a lid on that wine. You don't want to spill the wine. Unless you're working with the color of the wine. I mean, that's cool.
Hmm.
You know.
Carrie says she's guilty sometimes. I'm thinking she means counting her stitches.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because when you don't count your stitches, you'll add or you'll lose stitches. And you
Right.
won't realize it.
I
Um,
think that's one reason blankets are not my favorite. You
yeah.
know, I just, not only for me are they just long projects,
Yeah.
all right? But um, if it's one that's got an intricate pattern to it, to me, it's really important to count those stitches. Well, if you had to start out with a chain of 300 or 400 to begin with,
Yeah.
holy smokes, you'd be spending just as much time counting your stitches as you would be crocheting.
Yeah. I mean, that,
Mm.
my goodness, you know, it makes a difference when you count your stitches.
Oh
The,
my goodness. Did you read Sandra's?
use
You
it like
just,
a scarf.
oh my goodness, that's awesome.
You know? And if you have some of that nice hand-dyed yarn, you don't want to have dirty hands when you mess with it.
Oh no, goodness gracious. No, no, no.
You're welcome, Candy. I figured you could drop DIY fluffies. Um, you don't want to have dirty hands when you're messing. You pay so much for this yarn. You
Right,
don't want to mess up your project, and you want to count your stitches. So one, you don't run out of yarn.
right.
You don't want to add stitches. You don't want to lose stitches. You're queen of the frogging. Yeah. So I mean, it saves on frogging. Makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that
Yes.
that's awesome, Sharon.
That's what I was gonna say.
I think that's awesome. Another thing that crocheters are bad about is they don't block their work.
Ooh. Yeah.
Um, Knitters block their work. That means
Right.
when you make something, you wash it and you lay it out flat and pin it out so that it gets the stitches are opened up and it
Right.
sits out the way it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And crocheters don't like to do that. But it actually makes your project look perfect.
Right. Right.
Yeah. See, there goes Dan. I never block.
Michelle says, I want a sign that says, "Stop, I'm counting," for her door.
She needs one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's got
And I,
little ones popping in all the time.
I know, Dan, you can't be bothered. I know. But trust me, when you're doing lace work and shawls and stuff like that, it looks beautiful. Exactly, Dinky Jen, only when it's required. Hey, Nana
Right.
Kathleen. It,
Hello, Nana
it
Kathleen.
looks much better when it's been blocked. It looks professional.
Especially if it's a wearable, you
Yes.
know? And a lot of shawls require blocking.
Yes, shawls usually do to open up the stitches, and it looks
Hmm.
so much better.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Danny says, no, I just don't care.
Mhm.
His famous little phrase now, no, I just
No,
don't
I just
care.
don't care. I mean, it makes a big difference. The other thing, um, some crocheters, I wouldn't say a lot, don't take the time to learn to read patterns. Um, they'll just survive on tutorials. Well, you're missing out on a whole lot.
Yes.
There's a whole world out there for you.
Hmm.
And you should take the
Right.
time to learn to read patterns and to learn to read charts. Um,
Right.
if you learn to read charts, then you've got the whole world of Russian and Japanese patterns that opens up for you
Oh,
because
yes.
they're always done in charts.
Well, and sometimes too, when folks, I don't really know how it works.
Mhm.
I'm sure that designers that have their work put in a book
Yes.
will have somebody else type up the stitching for them. And
Right.
that's great. But sometimes things might get lost in translation. So if a chart comes with it and you're struggling with something's not working out right here, if you have a chart, like now not everybody uses a chart, but if you had a chart, you could go in and look at the chart and say, oh, somebody forgot this one little stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Or the chart is much easier to read and follow than the text is.
It is. It is.
Wicked said, I learned to read patterns when there was nothing else except for word of mouth.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
that was
Well,
me, Wicked.
Nana Kathleen, stay tuned. Tune into TFF because coming up, we're going to do another episode on how to read charts.
Good, 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 good.
And no problem, Dinky Jen. Go back and read your stitches, babe. You need to do that. Dan hates tutorials and prefers patterns. I prefer patterns too. I do.
I do too, but if there is a tutorial that goes with it, especially if I'm struggling reading,
Yes.
and that a lot of times comes with having a pattern that doesn't have charts. So if
Yeah.
there's a tutorial out there on it, sometimes, and that's where I have found mistakes in the
Yeah.
written pattern itself, is that what the designer was saying or possibly had written to be translated into text didn't translate well, or somebody just, skipped that one little word.
Yes.
Hmm.
It makes a big difference.
It does. Yes.
It really makes a big difference. When you're going through there, that's why it's important to read the pattern first
Right. To
before
make
you
sure everything
start it.
makes sense.
It really makes a big difference to read the pattern first. I can't begin to, tell you guys how important that is. Um, you prefer patterns. I do too. Another thing is there are actually no problem. You like both tutorials and patterns. I'll do
Hmm.
tutorials if there is no pattern for it. I will
Right.
do the tutorial.
Oh, yes. Most definitely.
I'm not going to shy away from it. I mean, I will do it. It's not a problem. Um, then there are people like this. You need to be able to pick up your work and read your stitches and know what you did. You
Yes,
need to be able to read your stitches and know what you did.
that's right.
And there are people who can't do that.
That's right.
And you need to be able to read your crochet. It
Hmm.
goes the same for knitting. You need to be able to read it. Frozen Angela, I prefer charts as
I
well,
do too.
but with my visual impairment, I can no longer read charts.
Right.
But there are people who can't read their own crochet fabric.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you need to take the time to read it.
Right.
It's you need to know what you did.
And I think that goes all the way back to practice, practice, practice.
Yes.
You know, um, because my single crochet, double crochet, what did I say? Single, half double, and double
Mhm.
may not look exactly like yours, especially when it's worked up into different stitches.
Yes.
So I know what mine look like. I might not be able to tell what yours look
Right.
like, but you should be able to tell me, well, here I did a single. I mean,
Yes.
singles are probably pretty easy. But when you start getting into doubles and trebles and the extended stitches, you need to be able to not only recognize it for yourself, but if you're trying to explain it to someone else.
I can pick up the amigurumi that she made for me and I can read the stitches very easily. I know what she's done. Now, granted, it's an amigurumi and it's all singles,
Right, right.
but I also have under here, trying not to knock everything else over. I have a shawl that was made for me by Connie, all handmade Connie, and I can read the stitches in the shawl. You have to be able to read crochet. At
Right.
least your own, if not someone else's.
Right.
But learn to at least read your own.
Mhm.
You need to be able to read your work. You got to be able to know
Right.
these are chains, there's a puff.
Mhm.
You need to be able to read the stitches. It's just something you need to know. That way you can, know what you've already worked on and what you've already done. Um, Maureen, what flavor pop is your Fresca?
It is a citrus sparkling soda water.
Ah,
It's made by Coca-Cola.
and Karen, I do the same thing every 20 to 30 stitches. It's easier to keep count and keep track. I,
Right.
I
Right.
do the same thing with my knitting. Nana Kathleen, I've got Purple Passion Throw pattern down. Not needing the pattern, it's only a 2-row repeat. Aren't you
Right.
awesome?
That's good.
Michelle,
Michelle,
go ahead.
oh, she says, I like to put a sticky note on my pattern that says the designer, name of the pattern, the yarn I'm using, hook size, and sometimes which hook it is. Hooks are all different and work up differently. That's a pretty good idea. I normally just put it on my pattern or in my book. Um, but I mean, I don't go to the extent that you do, but that really is a very good idea. I mean, it really is. I'll have to start doing that, Michelle. Thank you.
I like that. That's a great idea. Um,
Yeah,
Dinky Jen is doing a 2-row repeat shawl, no pattern needed, even if I haven't touched it for weeks.
that's good. That really is.
You got M?
Reading the stitches important. That is why I can't do a mastery pattern yet. I need a picture of what it should look like. I also can see if the pattern is using US or UK terms. And she totally agrees, Jennifer.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. It makes a big difference, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it does. Mm-hmm. It
It
really
really
does.
does. And another thing that bad habit that a lot of crocheters have is they're not willing to try new techniques,
Oh,
new stitches.
no, that's the only way you grow.
That's the only way you grow.
Right.
Like that double triple crochet. That's a
Oh,
new stitch. Try it.
mm-hmm.
What's the worst thing
Right.
that's going to happen? You got to redo it.
Right.
Like we don't redo patterns all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
you need to try new stitches and new techniques, and you'll grow and you'll become a master at that too. Hey, I rip stuff out all the time.
Yep.
You
I
know,
do too.
I know I've been crocheting a lot of years, and I still rip stuff out all the time.
That's what makes you better. Mm-hmm.
You just it's what you need to do to learn.
Right.
You
Well,
know.
for a long time, I used an extended double crochet stitch in place of a treble stitch
Mhm.
because I never could, or I fought with a lot, having too big of a loop at
Yes.
the end of the stitch. And I just didn't like it. And it would infuriate me. So I was just like, all right, there's got to be something else out here I can use. And so I found the extended double crochet. And so anytime I ran across a pattern that had the treble stitch in it, that's what I did. And I was talking to Connie at Hall, Handmade Connie, my other Southern sister partner, and she told me a very simple little trick in order to stop that. And I was like, where were you, girlfriend, 30 years ago? But it just simply was a little tweaking of twisting my um, hook just a little bit more before I started into the stitch.
Yep.
And it decreased it a lot, folks. And I mean, just here in the last month since she told me about that, I've run into two patterns where I've had to have that treble stitch, and I'm getting better at it. And so now,
Yeah.
I won't mind doing the treble stitch anymore. But
That's awesome.
yep.
Chris and Angela, you take care. Have a blessed day, sweetheart.
Yes, DK says I learned new stitches while doing the Bod Hatapalooza with Laura over at Mad Mimi's
Mimi's
Farming and
Crochet.
Crochet.
Yes.
Whoa.
Frenchie learned a bunch of stitches doing her Moroccan Afghan.
Oh,
That's
I bet So,
Some
yes,
enrolling with Rosie and friends said yes, it's true, but I do get stuck on a stitch and I make several items with it. That's an awesome idea.
that is.
Yes,
That really is. And welcome in, Rosie. You snuck in on me.
absolutely. Yes, you are absolutely right, Em. Another bad habit is not asking for help if you need it.
That's the truth. That
So
is
if
the
you
truth.
need help, ask.
Hmm.
What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say no
Right,
and look like a dork?
right.
I mean, no. Ask for help. There is
Hmm.
lots of people out here that will help you.
Right. That's what's awesome about the um,
Community.
yarning and the crochet and knitting and really just any craft. And there's so
Yeah,
many of us now on YouTube that we're always asking, what are your comments? What are some questions that we can help answer?
yeah.
And I mean, goodness.
Oh gosh, yeah. I'm willing to help you out as much as I can. You
And if
know,
I don't know the answer, there's enough people that I know now that, you know, I'll find it for you.
I'll find that. I'll find the answer if I can. If I don't know it,
Hmm.
I'll look for it. Trust me, I
That's
will
right.
look. You know, and I'm glad you found out what you were doing with the decreases. Somewhat wrong. No problem. I'm glad you found out.
Yeah.
Not a problem. There is just there. We have so many bad habits that we like that we need to break. And
Right.
we need to ask for help. We need to get a better posture. We need to stop ignoring the pain.
Hmm.
You know,
Especially.
and we really do. I have a bad habit. I need to quit buying the yarn because it's pretty. I need to
Hmm.
buy the yarn because I have a project for it.
Right. Right.
That's my habit.
Hmm.
You know that's me. Now I did make a purchase of yarn, and I do have two projects planned for the yarn. I did. So that's one good thing I did do. I'm that's
Well,
mine.
I do fall in the category more of I buy the yarn because it's pretty.
Hmm.
I mean, I do, but I don't let it sit there for very long because, eventually something will inspire me, whether it's something I've seen or somebody has said or I've watched a tutorial. Then it's like, ooh, I've got the perfect yarn for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I need to be better about doing
Hmm.
that because I do have a big problem of ooh shiny.
Yes.
So I need to get better about it. But I'm getting better about it. You know.
Mine is more, ooh, sale.
Yes, exactly. Can you guys think of any of bad habits that I didn't think of? Because we don't. I'm not saying that all of you have these bad habits. I'm saying that I have most of the bad habits. That's just
Right.
they are.
Exactly, Sharon. Ooh, a sale. That's right.
Yes, those are mostly my bad habits. Um, oh, oh, um, using only free patterns. That's another thing. There's tons of free patterns out there that are fantastic,
That's
but
right.
take a
But
take a look at some of the paid ones. I'm not saying you have to buy them, but take a
no.
look at them.
Yeah.
You know, and what was that last one up there that I had? Oh, a lot of times crocheters become very frustrated with themselves when they can't do the project, but they could, they just needed to take their time.
Right.
Or they become frustrated because they're having difficulty with the pattern, so they just throw it to the wayside and they're not going to do
Hmm.
it.
Right.
You need to take time with yourself. Give yourself ample time to do it. Take the time to work through it. Ask for help. We are all guilty of being perfectionists and not giving ourselves ample
Yes.
time.
And I think that that's what leads to a lot of people saying, I've lost my crojo.
Exactly.
It's because you let that one project, or maybe two or three that have come along in a row,
Yeah.
uh, I don't want to do this anymore. And so, you're right. Take the time. And even if you have to put it down for just a little bit, a day or two or a week or a month, but don't let it sit there in the UFO bin forever. Um, that's
Yes,
that's not
Sandra.
good for the yarn or for yourself.
A lot of people will leave their yarn too short when they trim their ends. When they, cut the yarn off, they leave the tail too short.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
always leave a long tail.
don't leave it at least 3 or 4 inches.
Oh
When
yeah.
you're beginning or you're ending, leave it at least 3 or 4 inches.
Hmm.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, trying to do several projects at one time is a bad habit. You need to. Oh, no problem. You take care, Debbie. Have a blessed day.
Yes, Debbie. Take care of yourself first, sweetheart. We do
Yes.
appreciate you being here with us.
Um, don't try to do too many projects at once. I'm doing that, and it's
Right.
difficult. It
Yep.
is
Yep.
very difficult. Yes, yes, taking the time out with a project is fine.
Mhm.
I
That's
agree.
right.
Yes, I do have a bad habit of not finishing my projects. I'm trying to get caught up on those, and
BK said, "Yes,
difficult.
you're slowly catching up with them, and that's great.
It's
Really. And if it is a project that you were so frustrated with that you know for certain that you're not going to go back to it,
then frog
then
it.
I was going to say you need to frog it right then and there rather than letting it sit over there in the corner or in that bag just eating at you.
Yeah,
You really need to just go ahead and frog it, use the yarn in something else, and leave that pattern alone.
that's the
Right?
best thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Just reuse the yarn for something else.
Mhm. That's
You know,
right.
I do always have a small project for in between. I
Right.
will do a dishcloth.
Mhm.
Um, I have a small project that's out there in our vehicle so that I have something small to work on. But
Right.
yeah, I always have a small project on the go. I even if it's just you have instant gratification.
Right.
Even for me, if it's just a dishcloth, at least I can do something small. Yeah, do like Donna. Start a project and not finish it. Yeah. I have I have quite the few knitting things I need to finish. Yeah, I have a lot of knitted ones. And not blankets. I have one knitted blanket, but I'm working on that in my living room.
Mhm.
Yeah. But no, that's the whole thing is
Right.
slowly go back to your whips.
Right.
Pick one whip to work on and then pick up something small, even if it's just coasters or a dishcloth. So you have some
Mhm.
instant gratification.
Well, not only the instant gratification, but you'd be surprised how sometimes at the last minute you need a gift.
Yeah,
And those washcloths, fold
those
them
are
up, tie them
great.
in a ribbon. Those little coasters. Anything else that you could come up with? Baby burp rags. Boy, I tell you what, mothers
Oh,
never
yeah.
get enough of those things. Um,
Oh, yeah. Hey, Crystal.
Hello, Moonrose. How are you, sweetie?
Oh, that's wonderful, Candy. Well, happy birthday for her.
Yes. What musical?
She's
I
talking
love
about
musicals.
she's talking about her sister.
I know.
Her sister, Donna, who
Hmm.
passed.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, Donna died a few years ago. So your thing is to pick out a yarn, match it up with another yarn, and start making the project. Then start thinking this is not good colors for this project. That does happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, drop the perfectionism. When trying something or you have pain, you make mistakes,
Hmm.
and that's okay. Keep going and accept that you tried, and at least you are still going.
That's
Yes,
right.
breathe to the sound of music. Yes,
That'll
you
be cool, Candy.
should be
Uh,
watching Phantom of the Opera.
hmm I don't call those mistakes. I call them creative licensing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that would be lovely, thank you. Oh, that's nice, Nana Kathleen.
Aw. I'm glad it's being replaced though.
I'm sorry about the dust, but I'm glad it's being replaced. Nothing like a
Yes.
fresh hot water heater, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Oh, she missed the bingo. She was
Oh, I'm
sleeping. Well, you know
sorry you
what?
missed bingo.
But
I did.
bingo is fun, but to me, I would take sleeping.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
that would be better for me. That would be better for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and anybody that's building a yarn stash, keep an inventory.
Oh, yes. Oh, my word.
I don't have one, and I wish I did.
No, one
I
thing
get
Granny taught me early on.
I get so mad when I buy this yarn and then I find that same exact yarn in one of my tubs back in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I get mad about it. Oh, that's wonderful, Nana Kathleen.
And
Oh, I'm
Sharon,
so sorry, Sharon.
no.
Yeah, you really should keep a yarn inventory. It will save you a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. And time,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, I need to do one, but until I get my room straightened up, I can't start the inventory. Trust me, it's a lot. It would make my life a lot easier.
Right.
Believe me, it really would.
Mm. Well, that's why we talk about, shopping your stash as much as
Yeah,
possible.
which I
Yeah.
prefer to do.
Because you don't want the yarn. Well, and you don't want the yarn to sit there for years and years and years and end up rotting.
No,
That's just a bad thing to let happen. But yeah,
um,
you'd also don't want to end up with 20 rolls of black.
no, no. Now I have gone back and gone through all the tubs. I took out all the white and all the black
Hmm. Right.
because I was having to buy so much of it, and I took it all out. Yeah,
Hmm.
now mine, I only have a few clear. The rest of mine are not.
Right.
So yeah, just because I didn't want the sun to bleach it.
Right. Kathleen says it's too hot to go out into the garage and inventory her
Oh,
stash.
bless your heart. No, you don't need to do that.
No, 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 no.
No, and you don't need to do it by yourself. You need help.
That's right. Especially
Always.
if you've got a lot.
But we're gonna have Maureen read Madonna's history thing.
Give me just a second and I will pull it up. I wasn't watching the time. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. All righty. Welcome to Monday, the 26th day of June. It's Beautification Day, Forgiveness Day, National Barcode Day, and Please Take My Children to Work Day.
Oh my.
The food holidays are tropical cocktails and chocolate pudding.
Awesome.
Chocolate anything, folks, is a great day.
Yes, Sandra, and I do have that. Nana Kathleen, let me give you an actual date, and I'm gonna run that by my fellow TFF friends, and I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
Oh, no, uh-uh.
25th was yesterday. We go back on the 9th. How about the 23rd of July? Is that okay, or is that too far away? Is July 23rd okay with you? I thought for a minute I was gone. Okay, July
Fine with
23rd.
her.
Yeah, Maureen will hold me to it.
Yep, I'm getting ready to put it in my phone right
Yep.
now.
So we'll do July 23rd, and that way we're covered. That actually makes it easier for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Thank you so much for requesting that.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will get in depth with how to read a chart, and we'll show you a chart, and we'll help work with you on reading it.
Yep.
That would work good. I do have that, Sandra, and I do plan on using your form. I think it'll be great. But I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure that you head over. I'm trying to get her link, but I can't find it right now. But Carrie the Yarny Elephant is coming on next. And she hasn't popped up for me to see. I'm looking for her link. Hang on, let me get Carrie's link. Where is she? There she is. Hang on. Let me get Carrie's link and we can go raid Carrie the Yarny Elephant.
Yay!
There we go. Here we go. So go over and do a froggy hop, guys. And here's the link for Carrie's. So go over and do a froggy hop. And you guys have a blessed day. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. And Maureen.
Be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know, could be your light that they need to see.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.